Okay, so right now we're on the train on our way to Sigulda from Riga. It's first thing in the morning and we're having a real cultural experience because as we got on the train, a few drunkards decided to come in and decided to play their music on full blast. So now we've got pop music on at 8 o'clock in the morning. So after that rather interesting episode on the train, we've now made it to Sigulda, and so we're about to make our way over to the castles. This hiking route, which is roughly 6 kilometers and can take several hours to complete, connects 3 medieval castles within the region of Sigulda. A 20-minute walk from the train station towards the Gauja River can lead you to the cable car that can transport you over the gorge and onto the other side. A scenic view over the densely wooded areas around the river will eventually bring you to the Krimulda estate, where you can pay a visit to Krimulda Manor and its surrounding grounds. Though at the time we had visited it appeared a little run down, it still maintained an eerie charm of old-fashioned grandeur. The 19th century Krimulda Manor is today a rehabilitation centre to help rehabilitate tourism back into the area. Near the manor house is the first castle on our journey, the ruins of the 13th century Krimulda Castle, destroyed by the Swedes in 1601. From Krimulda Castle, one may also be able to spot Turaida Castle in the distance, which from Krimulda Castle is also a relatively short hiking distance away. On the way there, after going down the wooden stairs and traversing across several bridges, we reached the Gutmanis Caves. Formed about 10,000 years ago, it's considered Latvia's oldest tourist attraction. Some of the oldest inscriptions in this cave date back to the 17th century. You know, I'm not sure whether it's the anthropologist in me, but I find the etchings on these walls of the cave actually more interesting than the cave itself. And I think that's because there were people who actually made these graffitis on these walls, people no different to you and I, throughout history, that left their names, their initials, their dates. Some of these dates actually predate the 20th century, some predate the Second World War. The cave is also associated with local legends, in particular the story of the Rose of Turaida, a girl who had intended to meet her lover, a castle gardener named Victor, in the cave prior to their expected marriage, but instead she was met with her unfortunate fate from a jealous soldier. It is said that when Victor eventually found his betrothed lying dead in the cave, he was accused of her murder, until a witness had come and saved him. Victor then buried the girl near the grounds of Turaida Castle and left the country for good. Speaking of Turaida Castle, this relic is one of the most visited tourist attractions in Latvia. Commissioned in 1214 by the Livonian Brothers of the Sword, a Catholic military order, it was built in the typical red brick style of the crusading orders of the Baltics. Archaeological evidence from within the reserve in which the castle now stands suggests that the origins of the area go back to the 11th century. It is believed that a wooden timber structure once stood on the grounds where the stone castle resides today. As well as archaeological excavations, restoration of the castle began in the late 1970s as the castle had fallen into abandoned ruin up until the early 20th century. The castle and its grounds are also a museum that exhibit artifacts from the reserve's antiquity and provides detailed information of the castle's history and the lives of those that were associated with it. Following on from Turaida, we made our way towards the final castle on this journey, the Sigulda Castle of the Livonian Order. Going back over the Gauja River and up the hill from where we began with the cable car, we come near about to the site of the final castle. But first, we decided to pay a short visit to the Sigulda Lutheran Church, first mentioned in the historical records going back to the late 15th century, when it was named St. Bartholomew. A short walk from the church then led us to our final attraction of the day. So the last stop on our trail today is the Livonian Order Sigulda Castle, which is another medieval ruin, and this castle over here was built in 1207. Sigulda Castle was another fortress built by the Catholic Order, the Livonian Brothers of the Sword. It was originally built to surveil and control the left bank of the Gauja River from invaders, but was later rebuilt as a convent house around the early 14th century. Research and renovations began on the castle during the 1960s, and since the castle opened its doors to visitors in 2012, it has become a major tourist attraction for the country, and along with Turaida Castle, it is considered to be one of Latvia's historical gems. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel.